Pretty good.
Wow.
All right, guys, welcome. It's the High Road. All right, it looks like we're good on Twitch,
Facebook.
good on Facebook, good on YouTube.
Let me check YouTube real quick.
We got
All
all the
right,
followers
guys.
already?
Yeah, we're yeah. There's so many people online right now. So we're 100,000 right now.
I'm pretty much a celebrity, right?
Yeah. Well, I told you I was gonna make you infamous, right? So here we go.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, guys, we're here. This is the High Road. We're gonna change the name next week to the Starting Line Society, but apparently the High Road was taken by quite a few people, and we're trying to be different. So we're gonna change it up a little bit before we even get started. But that guy right there is Paul Vineyard, my best friend, and we are going to be joined here shortly by Mr. Ray Stringer with the blown Scentless Nitro Funny Car. So Google AI is telling me that we're supposed to have talking points for these podcasts. So seeing as how this is our first one, we're just going to get started right here, I guess. This one's called The Origin Story, 30 years in the making. Paul, you want to give a little insight as to how we met?
Yeah, and it was a dark and dreary day. Back in I guess it was September of '94.
Something like that,
My
yeah.
dad retired from the Air Force. We were out at Wright Patton, Ohio. He had a house out here in Albuquerque that he'd been renting out his entire Air Force career. And when we moved there, it just so happened that about half a mile up the road was one of his longtime best friends, Paul's dad, Mark. And, when you put two drag racing dads together and then they have boys that are about the same age, I mean, naturally they're just bound to become friends. So we grew up, out at Albuquerque Dragway. See what else? Racing my dad's Super Comp dragster. Eventually, what was that, about 97? Got a junior dragster for my brother and I to share.
One of the first juniors in Albuquerque, if I recall correctly.
The car was the first junior in Albuquerque, but not under our ownership. We were the second owner for that. And, back in those days when we thought having a 13-second junior was fast, and the fastest car in Albuquerque, I think, was Jeremy Ringler with like a 1090 car. And now, seeing where junior dragsters are at these days kind of blows my mind. But
yeah,
no, going back to you and I, so we kind of grew up together, went our own ways for a long while, all through high school. We led some different lives after high school. Went off to the military. You were doing your other fun stuff I think you're talking about on one of your other episodes.
Yeah, that's coming next week. Next Friday, we'll be live with Jay, talking about addiction.
Yeah.
But, we both went down did separate paths, and then met up. I don't know, was that 11 years ago or something like that? Because Ray's been around for about 10 years. Well, we've had the Warlord program for about 10 years now.
I think a little bit longer than that. Maybe 12 years ago, something like that. After my dad died, that was 2014. So I think it was about 2015 that I licensed out at Frank Hawley's, and then bought a car shortly after that. And somehow we rekindled. I don't exactly remember. You remember that?
My dad called me and told me that he was going down to Mike Sherbring's shop because you were dropping your dad's car off to have helmet bars welded in it. And he asked me if I wanted to go. And I was like, man, I ain't seen Paul in, I don't know, 15 years, 16, 17 years, something like that. And we flew down there. And I remember when you came out of the trailer, you just opened the trailer door and you came out of the trailer and you were 6 foot, 25. And I was just looking up at you going, what happened, man? Good Lord. I used to be taller than you, and then all of a sudden you were, lurch over here, just a giant man.
Yeah, milk does a body good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I think from there, man, you just kind of stuck around, because when I got that car done, I was trying to sell my dad's, but I think I'd already bought the new car, and that was out in Dallas, and, my dad was trying to build up the Hillborn injected small block Chevy, and working on that for like 10 years, just, with a family of 4, trying to get by and do little things here and there that he never got finished. And I didn't fit in his car because I'm 6'25", apparently.
Yeah.
So decided had to sell his, which was, that was rough. That was a member of the family that he had since before I was born, but he was 5'9", 5'10", and I was 6'5", and so needed some cash.
Yeah,
So,
I think I tried to sit in that car when it was over at Mike's, and I barely, because I'm 5'9", but I weigh 200 pounds.
yeah, my dad, that was with him at 5'9", at probably 150 pounds back when he was in the Air Force and still in shape.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. There's pictures of that car all over the shop. So I
Oh yeah,
mean,
like I said,
yeah,
that car was a family member.
it was. I remember that one time. I remember when your dad and my dad were working on the car and left some spark plugs out of it and lit the whole sidewalk on fire over at your house.
Oh yeah, that's when we got to learn how to use fire extinguishers.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. Well,
But
yeah, it's been a wild ride for the last 12 years for sure. And then as I said, we're gonna have Ray should be joining us here probably in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So we're thinking. But the relationship between you and Ray kind of blossomed over the last about the same time, probably what 11 years, 12 years, something like that.
yeah, we want to get into it before Ray gets on, or we want to wait for him? But
Yeah,
I can give you the story, or we can wait for Ray.
yeah. Let's leave that for when Ray gets
Uh,
on, because now it's telling me to talk about Ray, but I don't think we're ready to talk about Ray. Oh, it says
Well,
we're supposed
let's.
set. It says we're supposed to set the scene. Who is the instigator and who was the one getting into trouble, getting the other one into trouble back in the day?
I mean, do we even need to explain that?
Yeah, we all know who was
I,
the
I,
troublemaker and who got everybody in trouble, and that would be me.
that would be you. That
Yeah,
remains true to this day.
yeah. I'm still the instigator. I still cause trouble everywhere we go.
Pretty
I
much,
try.
yeah.
I try not to do it as much nowadays as I used to, but we do have an image to uphold in the drag racing community.
No, you've definitely aged and matured. Even just since we rekindled. Coming from you're always eager to help to now you are
Oh, hey, look at
man,
that.
you're a key player. Oh man, there's the man, the myth, the
There's
legend
Mr.
himself.
Ray right there. Look at that. Hello, Ray. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. So everybody, this is Ray
All
Stringer. He
right.
drives a
Michelle
nitro
and I,
funny car. Go ahead.
what was that, Paul?
I said I was introducing you as the guy that drives that Chevy Nitro funny car called Blown Scentless.
And altered right here.
Oh
Look at
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
don't know how well you guys can see, but
Well, we were sitting here listening to you guys, and I figured it's time I better get in there.
Yeah. That's funny that
well,
Paul's wearing a Warlord hat and a Blown Scentless shirt, and I'm wearing a Breaking Benjamin shirt.
well,
And,
as
and I need a hat, period.
Yeah, I need to get some more of those made.
Got to cover that.
So yeah, me and Paul were just getting into the conversation about how you two guys met. So if you guys want to go over that.
you want me to get started, Ray?
As I remember it, Paul was, as I remember it, you were posting on ITA, and I chimed in and didn't realize you were in Albuquerque until after we started talking.
See, I kind of remembered a little bit differently. So I thought you were the one that introduced me to ITA. Because before that, I was just doing random.
No,
Facebook
I remember you asking. Yeah, I remember you asking a question in there, and then I chimed in when I think I saw your Albuquerque, that you were from Albuquerque, and so I responded, and I think that's how we got started.
Okay. Well, then maybe what I'm remembering was the second step of that was having our cars out at the track. I think you were on year 2, maybe, of the Nitro game. And we had the Hillborn set up.
Yeah.
And I remember you coming over, and hey, it was the guy with the Nitro funny car came over, and you were complimenting us on how quick we were getting that naturally aspirated car to go, when we still kind of felt like we had no idea what we were doing, and we were lucking into the speeds a little bit. Not consistent at all, not winning any rounds, but we were just out there having fun going, I think, 850s and thinking that was rotating the earth.
Hey, back then, 850s in Albuquerque is pretty good.
I mean, I would still, right now, if I could go 850, I'd be happy because my car's down for
Not
repairs
moving?
again.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
But,
Fields, you see it too, right? 50s
Yeah,
in Albuquerque, I don't care.
Yeah, you know what? It took I don't know how many years for somebody to run a 590 in Albuquerque. You know what I mean? So
There it is. Or go a 3 in the 8th mile, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
a long time for that
And
one.
ironically, it happened on. Oh no, it happened on different weekends. What was that? Oh, we have chats. Sorry,
That was
this
for
is all.
chaos.
Yeah, it was chaos. Anyways,
Yep.
yeah, like I said, we were gonna get into talking about obviously the stuff we got going on this year at Ray. I know you probably got I know you definitely got a trip to Tucson on your calendar for sure, for sure. And then with me and Paul, it's obviously still trying to figure out what we're trying to do, what we're not going to do, and where we want to go and not want to go. But I know that we are planning on chaos in Ennis here in, I don't know, what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that.
So that would be my question. Are you guys still looking at testing in Dallas?
We are, yes. So I mean, that's the plan as of now. It's really up to Lee, I guess.
So for those people who don't know, yeah, early this off season, we had a couple of good outings with the car. The debut race went real well, but then had some issues with the blower that I had traded for that was old and a little bit beat up. Ended up upgrading that, and then we had some wiring issues that we couldn't figure out. So Lee Ramey's also been helping us out, mentoring and helping to put things together. So I drug the car out to him, and he's going to help with the wiring. And he's right down the road from the company that makes all of our data recorders that were giving us fits. So he's going to fix that. And while he's at it, I just dropped off the new blower and a setback plate, and he's going to get those all on, fix a couple other little things, some oil issues out of the pan, and some small stuff, but he's going to help make sure it's good to go. And then the plan is for him to meet us in Dallas for the test session before chaos. And we'll go out there and just see if we can make, 4 or 5 hits and just see how the car does.
We're planning on being there.
And Ray,
You planning on testing as well?
yeah, that was my question.
Well, we were discussing testing, but right now the way things are going, we may not make a pass. I think pretty much same old, at least for the first race. And but we want to be there to watch you.
Yeah.
Hey, all the help we can get. We
it's-
always want that.
It's kind of a big deal, you know what I mean?
It is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, how long's it been?
Since
I've been run?
Well, just getting this new car together.
Oh
man, that took us 2.5 years.
Yeah, 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
I thought that. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You got it,
realistically, it was a collective effort between all three of us. I mean, obviously there was a lot more people involved, but I feel like all three of us had to, played our roles in every aspect of that car, from the way it looks to the way it runs to, I mean, everything.
Yep. So yeah, I was talking to Paul, Dennis, and Scott just this past weekend, and they plan on being there we're going to go out Wednesday and be there Thursday. Even if we don't make a hit, we want to be there with you guys. So that's the plan.
Well, always appreciated. And, for any listeners that don't know, so I've been helping Ray out for, I can't remember if it's been 10 years or 9 years, but
Something like that.
better part, if not a decade. So he's been my mentor while I help him out on his car. But now I know Ray and I have had some talks that stepping into this top dragster world is of all the racing stuff you've done, you haven't been in the formal top dragster world. So I think you were excited to learn some new stuff about this and help us out along the way, because obviously you've got that great foundation from running blower cars for a long time. So
Yeah, but I'll be the first to admit I'm learning a lot from what you guys are doing and what Lee has to say. I've definitely learned a lot already without even going to the track yet.
Oh yeah, and it feeds back and forth with how we run our operations, and the data recorders and a lot of the electronics. I was gun shy to pull the trigger on, but coincidentally Ray wasn't, so he bought that. So for a whole season or two, I was just over his shoulder in the trailer every chance I could get of, hey, what's this doing? How's this looking? You take the time to say, well, this is because we're nitro. This is why you see this. On alcohol, you probably should see something more like this. And so I don't think we're starting at zero, which really helped us out this last year. Just trying to get that stuff sorted out, always defaulting back to reading plugs when some of the wiring stuff wasn't working, but
Or talk to them know better than we do, right?
Exactly. And
Well, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say it's just one of the beauties of drag racing where, I got buddies that run sprint cars and some other forms of drag racing where they say, man, they want to. It's fist fights in the pits, and drag racing totally different thing where people walk the pits asking, hey, can I borrow this? And I've had people loan us blower pulleys, or we've loaned somebody parts for us to go beat them with their own part, or vice versa. They beat us with something out of our trailer that we're loaning them.
Yeah, it's happened sometimes.
Oh.
So that community is awesome because every time we're out there running, if Lyle's out there, he comes out. Lyle Greenberg, man's half computer in his brain because he's just so smart, knows a lot about a lot. Ray and I talk about this and all we've learned from Lyle. But he's always got 100 different tidbits of information that I'm trying to just store into my brain. But everybody that's come out there, we've had Mike LeBate, another local racer, runs a Pro Mod. He's come out there back early days of the car, helping to figure us out and troubleshoot some electronics. Like trans brake, we couldn't get it to work right with the delay box that was in the car. And so that's just, again, one of the things I love about racing. It's just kind of a big family and everybody do everything to help each other.
Well, if you think back to that outing in Roswell when we had the issues with the magneto and the mag and all that stuff, and we had
That's what I was about.
Yeah, we had 4 or 5 different teams in there trying to figure it out, and we ended up being able to run that weekend thanks to Buck Woolen and all those guys over there in that camp.
Yeah, I think we ripped out the entire ignition system.
We sure did.
Completely different ignition system in like 45 minutes. Got the car fired for a quick warm up, and then still made Q1.
Yeah.
And I think that was the race we actually ended up beating Buck Woolen Senior in the first round. I think he red lit against us, and that was our first round win with the Superchargers.
Yeah. That was a good time. So Google AI says that I'm supposed to ask about the Ray influence. Paul, what is one part of this car that wouldn't be there or would be totally different if Ray hadn't stepped in and helped?
Ray is my bad influence. We would not have a blower. We'd still be running 850s.
No.
Thinking we're, yeah. Okay, my bad good influence.
Okay.
Yes. So no, everything since I met him, I think I kind of forced my way onto the team by just getting in the way enough to where it was like, hey, okay, grab a wrench. Like if your big ugly mug's gonna be standing there in the way, grab a wrench and get to work. And
Pick that body up.
Exactly. I pick things up, I put them down.
That heavy body, yeah. I've had to do that a time or two. I understand.
But no, I think as soon as I got involved with Ray, he started. I didn't know what the Southwest Superchargers were back in. Obviously, Paul, when we were kids, it was the the SOS series. That was kind of comparable.
No, it was Southwest Super. The Southwest Superchargers ran out at the track back in the day. Used to have. I want to say there's probably 20, 25 cars when they used to come run out there. They had everything.
Yeah,
it was
SOS.
Yeah.
SOS was precursor to Southwest Superchargers.
Yeah, but
Do you remember when Superchargers was founded?
I want to say about 96.
So it would have been about that
Yeah.
time. So I think that was when I had the Junior Dragster. It was 97, 98. Then they closed the track in 99. And then I didn't get back out there until we got the other car in 2014 or 2015.
Right, but I think there's the SOS series, but that was Lauren's deal. Lauren was the guy that did that whole series. Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Frank Turrentine. Frank Turrentine was actually the one that kind of started wanted a middle class to build into SOS, and then Jerry Newman and Donnie Powell took off, and I created the name for Southwest Superchargers, and they took off and ran with it. But that was several years after SOS.
Yeah.
So, well, anyways, yeah, Ray started telling me about them. So whether I had forgotten about it, but in my head, growing up, when my dad had a 10-second Super Comp car, and I just thought that was fast. Once we had an 850 car, I thought we had, hit the jackpot, and it never seemed achievable to run a blower car. I just figured that was only for the people that were rich and, been doing it forever, saving parts forever. And I was a college student at the time, and Ray started telling me like, no, man, like you don't have to go out and buy this $15,000 blower right off the bat. You don't have to buy the top of the line crank and this and that. And then that became, I think, about a year-long quest of like slowly gathering parts. Because again, as a college student, I didn't have a lot of money, but Ray helping me out with, hey, what would you be, what can you buy used? And there was a lot of used parts. The block was out of like an 84 GMC dually, a 4-bolt main big block Chevy that we just concreted the water jackets. It was $300.
That was a good time. I enjoyed that.
Oh, we did. And I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Ray helped me get that thing together on a budget, and it was like, oh wow, this is actually feasible if you're smart about it. And he always taught me the value of not hurting parts. That may be one of the biggest influences. I mean, obviously, I could see the dollar amount, but how to extend the life of your parts, and you're always going to have some failures when you're high horsepower racing. But I think
And we've had a lot of those.
we've had a few, but not too many super catastrophic. Or if they are, it's complete fluke things of
Yeah.
the weld broke on an oil pickup, and hey, that just what it is. What it is.
Or an input shaft broke. Yeah, just something small usually.
And right when you're upgrading and you're making more power, all that is the quest to find the next weakest link, right?
Right.
So
Well,
we make
luckily,
some power boost. Oh, the transmission wasn't ready. Okay, we get a new planetary. Oh, the input shaft wasn't ready, and it's just, But with that, every time that we break something, right now we upgrade to a new, better one, and that's part of why we have long downtimes. But also, I think it's going to be a good path for the long term of the car.
Right. Right. Well, speaking of catastrophic failures, Ray, you had some wild ones. Tucson, you guys had to. Man, you guys, it was a rough one out there in Tucson for you guys all weekend.
Yeah, I was behind the curve obviously all weekend. That was rough, and that's okay. I'd say over the last couple of years we've done pretty well for what we have and what we're doing. Again, trying to run within our budget, but I say stay within our wheelhouse, right?
Right.
Yeah, Tucson, I just kind of missed it. I just missed the tune-up, missed the mark, kind of chased it all weekend. And then on that last run, those rods were new. Definitely shouldn't have had that, but we broke a rod in the very last run of the year, kind of tore some stuff up. And to that, you're talking about what's the latest. So we've gotten the block back. It's done. Spent the day down at the machine shop with Mark today and finished that up. And the crank is back. I have rods, I have pistons. Cam is back. Valve springs came in today. Moving forward, we want to be in Dallas, ready to rock and roll. So,
Well,
things are looking good.
Last year wasn't all bad. You guys ran your first 3-second pass in Albuquerque, correct?
Correct, right?
Yeah.
We finally went 3 in the 8th mile, but of course that was a quarter-mile event, and zing the tire, and the burst panel gave it up at about 660 feet, and lost that round. But yeah, it was pretty cool. We went 396 to the 8th mile.
Yeah, in Albuquerque.
And last year we won our biggest payday ever. Finally, that was awesome. July 4th weekend, and that helped a lot. Just buying parts and upgrading and moving forward. So,
Hey, so we have a question in the chat. Mr. JD505 wants to know when Warlord Racing is going to be on the track, back on the track.
There you go, JD.
Well, which Warlord Racing are you talking about? So I don't know if we've covered it yet, but my son, who's getting ready to turn 8 for Christmas, just got a junior dragster. So he will actually be the first one in Albuquerque, and we're looking to get him out there for some test sessions, as soon as we can with the track. Track being a little more forgiving at his level. He's got, we're targeting a 1290 setup in the junior dragster, a little gas-powered Harbor Freight motor, actually. So hopefully, March, something like that is usually kind of the icebreakers.
Yeah. I think first or second week of March is going to be Street to Strip or something. But we are going to have Robert Costa and Gene Grant on the podcast 2 weeks from today. So not next Friday, but the Friday after that. Robert Costa and Gene Grant are going to be on talking about the schedule and some pretty cool events. They're going to be coming up this year in Albuquerque Dragway. I'm sure Ray knows about one or two of them. Paul also might know about it, but yeah, we won't get into that. We won't spoil the surprise because I know Robert's excited about it, but just know it's going to be awesome.
I know with us, one that I think it's already public, is Southwest Superchargers being out there. I forget the time I think we were earlier in the season, maybe like May, or maybe that was last year. Might be mixing it up.
May.
But
Yeah, I think it's the Labor Day show or something like that. Yeah.
So I think for the big car, that's probably going to be the Albuquerque, re-debut, or first time we're getting that out there. But that's why we want to make those test sessions in Dallas, have the car ready. We got, Lee's going to be out there. He's the tuner guru for a number of top dragsters. And so he's going to help us get a baseline tune-up going there at sea level, and then we're going to bring it up to altitude, see what needs to change, and then just go have fun with the superchargers. I mean, that's kind of a, another racing family of ours. We've been running with them, and it's an awesome group. We love it. We have a great time. So
I still enjoy every chance I get. I want to race with them. It's been awesome getting the opportunity to go race with them once in a while.
Yeah, speaking of Southwest Superchargers, Paul, didn't we win an event last year? You finally got your, what do they call that trophy, Ray?
The Jerry.
The Jerry.
Yeah, the Jerry. Yeah, it's in the shop.
Yeah.
I was trying to set up in the shop just because I wanted to show everybody that and the trophy we got from the track, but Wi-Fi wasn't good.
That was a great weekend.
Yeah, that was the first time we ever competed with that car.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had I think one test session, and then we went right into competing. And man, the car was just, it was on rail. It still wasn't running as quick as we thought it was going to for all the upgrades we made. But I believe that ended up being the blower wasn't putting out the air that we thought it was going to. But it ended up being really perfect for running the superchargers. I mean, and then that awesome driver cutting that 005 light in the finals.
Yeah, that was a good, that was something I'll never forget for sure. I know Ray probably won't forget it either.
Oh, I had a blast. That was great. Plus, we had the fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, well, Paul is still he can't stop talking about wanting to match race the funny car at some point in time.
Yep. Formally calling you out now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go and see it. Let me see if our improvements work the way I think they're going to before I really put my foot in my mouth. But we're really hoping with that High Helix 1471 that we start making some ground on where you're at. I don't think we'll ever be at a 3 in Albuquerque with this setup, but at least enough to make it an entertaining race.
Right.
I was actually.
You'll get.
We'll get there at some point. But no, I was thinking about this earlier. I have kind of my what I call my HVT list coming from the military, the high value target list. And Ray has been my ace of spades, which is that's your number one that you want to go after. Win, lose, or draw, just people that I want to race. And I halfway checked that box off before in Amarillo. If you remember when Ray, you were driving Steve's car and we got to line up head to head. And I think we actually had the car doing really good for us. We were running, it was like a 463 on the 60 index, but you were just you were that much better because you were running 61s, I think back to back or 2 or 3 runs. And
I think you were still learning the tree too. You were still getting acquainted with the car.
I was going to say, yeah, you treated me, a lot of people treated me back then. And, superchargers having to run with you controlling the throttle and making that big jump to the blower car, that took me a while. It's hard to do to get it dialed in. Finally started getting okay at it now. But then now we moved over to putting the delay box in there for the top dragster side. So when we run superchargers, we just zero it out because it's a pro tree, so it's not going to benefit me anyways. But I'm spending most of my practice time on full trees and trying to dial that in. And I think we've done okay. I think the worst light I've had on that car was an 050, but a fair number of 01s at this point or better. So
I think you've progressed in that car way quicker than I expected.
Yes. Oh, well, yeah.
This car is like a Cadillac. That was one thing while we were building it up that Lee told me. We went from a 235-inch wheelbase to a 275-inch wheelbase, and in a car that was meant to be a top alcohol car back in its day, versus our old car that was a super comp car that I think we were kind of overdoing what the chassis was made for a little bit. But yeah, no, running a 460 in this car, even after being out of the seat for 2 years, that felt like running a 520 in the old car. Like it was just, everything is just laid back. It's less bouncy. It's, the chassis absorbs everything.
It's amazing the difference in the cars, isn't it? In the chassis and the way they're built.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just like I say, it's made for it. We're doing what this car is made for versus making do, which was still great. We could have ran like that for a number of years, and that was the plan until coincidentally Ray and Lee both tagged me in a Facebook post for a car that I didn't know I needed. And in my head, I'm like, well, 2 of my mentors are pointing out the same thing unrelated to each other. So we had to go check it out. And this car was built for, a big driver. And we still had to end up chopping the cage and adding a taller cage on it. But
I I didn't know Lee. I remember me sending you the ad, but I didn't know Lee did too.
Yeah, I think you
Uh.
both did like within 2 hours of each other. But
Oh,
that was also part of the stall and one of the downtime is we were planning on building a new motor to go in the old chassis. And once we found that, it was like, well, we got to do it. So, Paul Goose here and we went down to the bank and started looking under the couch cushions and getting all the coins and scratch we could get together. And we went in halves and bought the chassis and just as a roller and brought it back, and a lot of free manual labor, but it took some time. Had that.
Oh,
I don't know. We lose Ray?
we did lose Ray. Hold on, let me shoot him a text real quick and tell him just to jump right back in. We're having technical difficulties.
We're new. Cut us a break.
Yeah, no, it happened to me while I was on the podcast with Cody and Corey the other day. We'll see if he jumps back in. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But hey, the live stream. Oh, Paul, we have some more questions here for you.
What do you got? What do you got? Oh,
It
man.
says, yeah,
7 things.
yeah. It says how do you feel about a third generation pursuing the drag racing world?
Oh, I love it. It's a difficult one. I kind of have a belief as a parent. I don't want to push my kids into things. Oh, is that Hillary? Who's that back there?
No, that's Mason.
Hey, I didn't want to push him into it, but I think that we've kind of talked about it, and I told him, hey, at some point, if you want to get a junior dragster, we can look into that. And he didn't seem to have a ton of interest until this last season, and I think it just, I don't know, maturity kicked in or something with him. But between us getting the win, coincidentally on his birthday, he was losing it for that, having a blast, and then from there, something like clicked in his head, and he started helping Paul. And I think it was mostly with Lexi's car, but really any of the juniors that you were bringing into the stable last year, or he was trying to help air up tires and bring in fuel jugs to people, and he was really showing us something.
Well, I think that race that you won, that Southwest Superchargers race, I think that might have been one of the turning points for him because, like I said, that was about that race is when I, started to notice that he was wanting to do the fuel jugs and do the tires, and he was super interested in just all things junior. So I'm glad that worked out that way for him, for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, right now he's loving it. Paul's come over the last 2 weekends. We're taking the car down the street and letting him just do a build-up from, towing it behind the golf cart, with front end up in the air and just seeing how he does there, to coasting down a hill, to, firing up the motor and letting him putter around, to now doing some blips. And he's just asked me, a couple hours ago, like, hey, Dad, this weekend we're taking the car out down the street, right? And I said, yeah, let's do it if you want to. So he's eager, but also, you can see some reservations about him, and he's got his own unique personality. So we got to tailor how we're mentoring him to match his setup, or, how his brain works. So we're trying not to push too far, too fast. So I think he showed a little bit of nervousness doing some throttle blips and like staying in it,
Right.
For very long. He built up to, I think, a second and a half little blip, but he was happy with that, and he liked it. And when he says, hey, I'm done for the day, we just say, okay, we've had a good spot. We don't want to over push it just yet.
Right.
So, but then because of that, that's why he's asking to go do it again. So it's going to be fun.
Well, like I said, we can take him on the golf carts. The golf cart, the junior's probably not going to go much faster than that golf cart. Or if it does, it's only going to be a little bit. So I think having that added a level of stability is cool. Oh, look, here comes Ray again.
Sorry,
Welcome
guys.
back.
Well,
I don't see him.
just
I
say,
see him.
You
Yeah,
see
he's
him?
freezing. He's freezing, and I can see him now. He's frozen.
Yeah,
I wonder if his internet's kind of being spotty there at his house.
it might be.
But yeah, for those of you going back to the junior stuff, if you look at our Facebook page, the Warlord Racing Facebook page, we've been posting some of the videos on that, so you can kind of watch the progress. And that's been one thing with the Facebook and Instagram. We try to post not just the cool videos, but everything about what's it like to race as, you know, the average person. Both, you know, started with a big car because we had that first, but hey, if we got a new set of rods in, we're putting that on there that, hey, finally saved up and bought a new set of rods. We're showing people that it can be done. You know, all those lessons that Ray taught me, we're just trying to advertise that to the world, that anybody can get into this if this is their, you know, their true dedication. You know, if you want it, there's a lot of it means, hey, I'm eating ramen or eating sandwiches for lunch day after day after day because I'm saving that money from going out so that I can save up some money to buy the next thing for the car. But we try to share that stuff on the social media so people can see what it's like. And now we're bringing the Junior and program into that. We had done some advertising on it. You know, when Paul, he's had a whole stable of Juniors falling under the Warlord Racing banner.
Oh.
And so we try to post, you know, every time that they're doing good and they're out there winning trophies and making us look good. You know, we're letting everybody know.
Yeah, it seems like Ray is having some issues with his Wi-Fi there.
You got me back? You see me?
I can hear you.
Oh, hey, Michelle. You seem to be back now, but you freeze in and out.
Yeah. Again, living out in the country, I mean, this is what we get, right?
I mean, I can hear you better than I've heard you all night, so that's good.
That's good.
I can't see you though. All I see is a gray screen.
I see
Oh,
you.
I'm showing.
I can see you, and I can see all your pictures and stuff on the wall behind you.
Oh, good.
Interesting. All right. Well, as long as
It's just Paul and technology don't get along.
no, they really
Oh.
don't.
Said where we live, it's the connection out here is not very good. So we've actually been looking at maybe changing. So
Well, you seem like a prime candidate for Starlink.
Yeah, that's what I was
And-
gonna say. Starlink. Yeah.
I'm saying it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see those? You see those up there? See those?
Yep. What are we looking at? I see them, but they're fuzzy.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's all our trophies from 2023.
Oh, there must be a lot of them.
3 in a row, right? They're
Yeah.
right there.
3 in a row. Hey.
Undefeated in chaos.
I was about to say, I think you were the first one to ever do it too.
3 in a row. I think I was second, wasn't it? Because Singleton had already done it.
Yes. Singleton
okay.
would have been my guess, but
Yeah.
Yes.
I do see a question
At
geared
that
towards
point-
Ray and. So I see a question geared towards Ray and Michelle over there,
But it's
asking about any new blown scentless wear, gear, shirts, and
new blown scentless wear. So, no, the design that she got last year, I really like.
Yes.
And we have some stuff left over from last year, but the plan is to maintain that for one more season because I did like it so much with the new background and the flag and just the way they kind of captured New Mexico. I'm really liking it. There'll be maybe just inventory refresh for 2026. So, but the plan is to maintain what we had.
All right, Ray. Oh,
yeah, the blown scentless gear is always a big hit. You know, that's one that. So Michelle and I, or Ray's wife, Michelle and I, we do a lot of the social media. Lately, she's been pulling more weight than I have because I've kind of backed off. But we always love seeing the blown scentless shirts in the wild kind of thing, and people will send pictures of, hey, somebody at Indy or somebody at Bandamere or something like that with a blown scentless shirt on, and man, that always makes us excited. And you know,
I had a friend saw my shirt in Gainesville last year.
And I've actually got one of my study buddies, you know, since I'm back in school, he works for GM as an engineer over there doing crash tests for their new production vehicles. And he wants to rep that. Well, once he found out that you were a Chevy, he's like, dude, can you get me a shirt? So offline, I'm going to talk to you and Michelle about maybe getting a shirt or two for him to rep over there in Michigan.
Absolutely. That would be big. That would be cool. Yeah. Let me know.
I mean, yeah, I've seen a couple blown scentless shirts in like Vegas and stuff like that. So, you know,
Thank you.
maybe a
Yeah.
couple in maybe
I
a couple
had
in
a friend
Denver.
a couple of years ago when I finally felt like it was like something that really hit home was a couple of years ago. A friend of mine was at a dirt track race somewhere down in Texas. He was sitting up in the stands and took a picture of a guy down on the fence leaning against the rail, had our shirt on. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool.
You made it to the big time. That's Yeah.
Right. Sure. Right.
So one thing I did want to get both of you guys' opinions on, since we're gonna be winding down here probably in the next, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, is the IHRA revolution is what we're gonna call this one. Memphis and Atlanta, two fabled drag strips, that were seemingly gone forever, and they're both under construction and both are on the schedule for the 2026 season.
Yeah, they think they're going to have Memphis ready for their national event towards the end of the year.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to race at Atlanta in October.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
yeah.
can't be bad news, right?
Right. Well, I mean, anytime there's a drag strip brought back from, basically the dead, it's a great sign for the times.
Right.
So, but
No.
go ahead.
I was going to say, Ray and I, we've had some talks. I mean, IHRA as a whole and what they're doing, I think we both are really loving it. I know, Paul, you and I have also had talks, like looking at the payouts for, our class, where it's like,
Yeah.
wow, this is amazing. Ray's looking at the same for more, the big boy, the fuel altered stuff. No, I think it's awesome what they're doing for racing. I really hope it sticks. We keep saying I wish they would come out west further, but I see, over expansion kills a lot of businesses. So I think that they need to focus with what they got for a couple of years, let that really sink in and take off. And if that takes off, I hope to see them expanding out, in the future, so we can have a better chance of making it out to a race or two.
And so that ties into the big conversation in the social media world, right? Is the sustainability of what he's doing. Like, of course, nobody knows that but him, and lots of people talk about it. But that's the big question mark: is how does he sustain this for year after year after year without
Going broke?
I don't know. Well, you got to get the sponsors behind it, but I think he's doing it right. And to Paul's point, yeah, stay in your market, make it successful, and then if it grows and takes off, then maybe you expand west. But for now, yeah, I love it. I wish I could go participate, and I wish I could. And Scott and Dennis and everybody's on board too. We would all love to go out there and be a part of that, even if it was just for one event. It's just so far away for us, but. I think it's awesome and it's exciting, and we'd love to be a part of it. Yeah.
I think we're both keeping it in the back of our head that, if not this year, but maybe at some year making that our big one for the year.
Right.
Maybe it'd be worth traveling to the closest race for us, which is where was
Kansas.
that?
Topeka.
Kansas? Yes.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, surprisingly for us, isn't much further of a drive than Dallas. I think it's like an extra half hour on Google Maps. Yeah, surprisingly.
Was it that close? I thought it was more than that. Okay.
Yeah, Paul called me a couple weeks ago and asked me if I wanted to go to Great Bend, Kansas in the middle of July. I was like, absolutely not. I'm good.
Yeah, I get that.
Dude, me and Scott did chaos in Kansas, and that was probably some of the worst. Yeah, it was not good. It was 99 degrees, 99% humidity. It was ridiculous. It was the worst weather I'll never want to do that again, ever. It was bad.
I lived I was in the Army for 4 years. I lived in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and totally understand.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I tell you what, I lived there. I loved it.
Even all the
there's a whole
humidity.
other level. There's a whole other level to it, being strapped into a car with your 20-layer fire suit on, your helmet, your sock under that. I mean, for Ray having, he's got the skirt for the nitro, he's got thicker gloves, thicker boots, everything else, and that does it weighs on you. But as Paul knows, I'm a glutton for punishment. I set myself up for pain all the time.
I was about to say, I've seen both of you get out of the car pretty wet, just dripping that sweat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Prepare, right?
Yeah, got to get cool suits and ice and everything. So, all right. Well, I guess it looks like we're probably going to be out of time for tonight. Yes, go Paul.
Nitro Warlord. When's that going to happen?
Oh yeah, Gene wants to know we're going to run on Nitro.
Huh?
Gene wants to know we're going to run the big car, the dragster on Nitro.
I don't think this car will ever see Nitro. I still see it as a possibility in our future. But I think if it is, it's going to be in a funny car, altered, transformer setup. So we can go run chaos. If we're going to make that big investment, I want to do it to where we can go have a home. And I think putting a Nitro car and a top dragster chassis would be fun. But who are we going to race against? What are we going to do? You know, there's no competition. It's just going to be essentially nothing but test runs and having a good time. But
No market.
yeah, there's just no market for that. I had thought a ways back when they run at March Meet, they have that Nostalgia rear engine nitro you can run. But for me, this gets into these things where I think they need to update the definition of nostalgia. You know, it's great for people, you know, my dad's age, this is stuff he grew up with as a kid, but now to me, you got the next generation of racers coming up and coming in their own, you know, I'm hitting about 40-ish, to where I can, you know, afford the fast car. But for me, nostalgia is late 80s, early 90s. And so when I see that, and it's, you know, like Ray, you built your motor for the nostalgia, but you didn't have the body because you have an 89. But to me, that's what I've told Ray a dozen times. I think that the body on his car is like the coolest funny car body out there. And he's like, no, you know, the Corvettes are the this or that. No, to me, because that's what it was when I was a kid. We recorded the Diamond P Sports drag races, and we'd watch it over and over and over on the, you know, on a VHS as a kid. And those were the body styles. Those up into, you know, what did you have? The Firebirds were kind of the later ones of my childhood. The early 2000s, they started doing the Firebird bodies.
Yeah.
So I think to me, anything between that late 80s, early 2000s is like the coolest body styles.
And I'm always about the 78, the 78, 77, the Plymouth Arrow, the Dodge Omni. Those were the cool ones to me. But yeah, I get your point on that. Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's just nostalgia is different for every person. But now, like I say, I think they need to update the rules. Maybe keep a same engine combo, but maybe open up the bodies would be nice. But either way, that's where Chaos has become nice, because, you know, you don't have to just run Heritage. You can have a newer body and go run Chaos, and there's races all over around us that we can do. Obviously, we've been doing it with Ray's car since Chaos 1. You know, we were at the first race there in at what was that, North Star?
North Star Dragway, Denton, Texas. Yep, those were fun times. I missed that track.
We should have won the B field, but that's when Ray finally switched over from the steelheads, and we had the entire field, I think, covered by like a 10th or 2/10, something like that. Like if we could have just kept it together, we would have had it. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like the same thing, like I talked about, constantly improving the car. Ray's doing the same with, you know, going from a steel block to aluminum, the steel heads to aluminum, and then better aluminum heads, and then this, and just
Better blower, better mag.
Yeah. Yep. So just every season, you know, doing a little bit of something to go a little quicker, and look at, you know, one of the fastest big block Chevys in history. I mean, we had Del Worsham out there in Dallas, you know.
Oh my God, here we go again, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that was so funny. That was
Hey.
hilarious.
You're getting ready to close on me, and I want to say something because I heard you say something earlier before I got on field. You were talking about your one of your ones coming up is about the addiction,
Yeah.
and stuff that you've been through. I want to give you kudos publicly because you've done it. You've recovered and you've fixed yourself, and you're successful. And I know people have things to say and they're not right. You've worked hard, and congratulations to you.
Yeah, we don't care what those people say. They're not.
Okay, well that's good, but I want to say it. Congratulations.
I appreciate that, Ray. Thank you. So real quick, one question for each one of you guys. Ray, favorite racetrack that you've raced at, been at, whatever.
Tucson, man. I think Tucson's the best kept secret in the country.
Yeah, shout out to Jim Hughes. That track's pretty cool. Paul, how about you?
I haven't been to nearly as many tracks as Ray has. I mean, I got to go with our home track. It's just Albuquerque. It was our childhood. It was. What you got, Ray?
I want to hear what Lyle's answer is to that.
Oh yeah. Well, he's got more than more than probably all three of us combined to choose from. So
Absolutely, guarantee it.
yeah.
We come at it from different perspectives because we've never had a car that was powerful enough to overpower Albuquerque. So it's been great for us, and you know, who knows? Maybe that could change with this step up. Maybe not. You know, Dragster's a little more forgiving.
Don't get me wrong. I very much enjoy Albuquerque and our first 3-second pass there, and we get to race up there a lot. I very much enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but Tucson's got a special place. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, if I'm gonna pick one, it's probably gonna be Pinwheel Nights Raceway. Just more for the track owner than anything else. I love Gary to death. He's such a nice guy, you know, and he's always wants to talk, and I mean, he's just a super, super great guy. We love Gary to death.
Yep. We'll be going there in May.
Yeah, we'll have our car there at some point, and I think also, we're looking at trying to get it out to Tucson sometime this year.
Good.
So just have to see what's on the schedule that looks appealing for us and is willing to make that haul.
I was about to say, I'm sure I know a guy that works out there that might, if we get the car out there, he might let us run or, something. We'll see.
If we're gonna make that haul, we want to try and win some money too.
Yeah,
Help
they
clear
got
out
to
some
they got to
decent
have
costs.
something we can run out there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's just getting it lined up with the busy work life, and like I said, I'm gonna go out for punishment, so taking on more stuff and going back to school and helping out on different people's cars and the junior dragster. So we'll see what this season looks like, but I definitely say we're targeting at least 5 outings with the big car and as many as we can with the junior.
Yeah, well, we'll be together for every single one of them, which is good. So, but anyways, guys, thanks for being on. I'm sure that we'll see each other sooner than later. And this is coming up here soon. And Paul, I'll probably see you in the next couple weeks. But don't forget, guys, next Friday, 7 p.m., we're going to be doing the same thing right here. It'll be me and Jason talking about guy stuff and addiction. So thanks everybody for joining us. Ray, Paul, we will see you guys later.
It was a
Good
pleasure.
luck.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, both Blown Scentless and Warlord Racing, Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube,
and now
Twitter.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will talk to you later. Have a good night.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Bye.
That's copyright infringement. Yeah, you're gonna get sued by ESPN now.
I'm waiting for it.
All right, man. Well, you have a good one. You know you're still alive, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out how to stop it.
I don't know how to make it stop.
It won't stop. It won't stop. It
Yep,
won't stop.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hop off. So
Hop
good
off.
luck with
Go
that.
ahead. You got it. Go
All right,
ahead.
later, brother.